evening and welcome. You are watching the Newshour Agenda, India's most loved primetime show at 10. I'm Padmaja Joshi. For the last 1 week, Maharashtra has been in the grip of one question. Who is the real Shiv Sena? Today, after being granted protection from disqualification for 2 weeks by the Supreme Court, Shinde and his camp said that this is the win of the real Shiv Sena. His confidence obviously bolstered after the Supreme Court technically put a stay on disqualification of rebel MLAs of the Sena for at least 2 weeks. The apex court also asked for security to be provided to all of the rebel MLAs. Now, what does this mean? It means basically that all of these rebels will have the numbers on their side and are now capable of moving a no-trust vote. Also, their return to Mumbai becomes that much easier because finally security to them will be guaranteed on the court's instructions. No wonder then that soon after the verdict, celebrations broke out in the rebel camp from Mumbai to Guwahati.
The time to file our reply to the notice of the Deputy Speaker for our disqualification is extended till the 12th of July. Secondly, has directed and recorded the undertaking of the state government that all protection to life and liberty of these 39 MLAs, as also their family members, shall be extended by the state government.
Only one question. The team is killing Shiv Sena. Only one reaction on that. Only one reaction. आप लोग still अभी भी शिव सैनिक हैं। लेकिन पार्टी अभी आपने समर्थन निकाला है सर।
समर्थन निकाला इसका मतलब हमने शिव सेना छोड़ी नहीं है।
तो क्या अब दूसरा शिव सेना बनने को तैयार है?
Now, if you're wondering whether a patch-up between the Shiv Sena and the BJP is still possible, the answer to that is a resounding no. Sources, in fact, say that Uddhav Thackeray did try and reach out to the BJP in the last 1 week, but things went completely south after threats from the Uddhav camp, more specifically from Sanjay Raut. From challenging rebels to set foot in Delhi to even remarking yesterday that 40 corpses would be returning to Maximum City, and as soon as they arrived, they would be sent for a post-mortem.
या 40 आमदारांच्या बॉड्या इथे येतील त्यांना डायरेक्ट सभागृहात पोस्टमार्टम मध्ये पाठवू.
रास्ते की लड़ाई रास्ते पर सड़क पर हो सकती है, हो जाएगी. अब तक शिवसैनिक सड़क पर नहीं उतरे हैं. चाहे कितने भी लोगों को आप खरीद लो, दबाव डालो, लेकिन कानून की लड़ाई, कागज की लड़ाई और सड़क की लड़ाई दोनों में हम जीत जाएंगे. जिसको हमारा सामना करना है मुंबई में आ सकते हैं. पूरी तैयारी है. आप आइए. अब हमारा चैलेंज.
Now, as this week-long drama draws down, the question many are asking whether the entire mess could perhaps be the creation of some Bayanveers, people who do not think twice before shooting from the hip in the Sena camp. Have these Bayanveers ensured that any path to a reconciliation is irretrievably shot? And will Uddhav Thackeray now at least try and do some damage control by acting against the likes of Sanjay Raut, who haven't even shied away from giving calls to violence?
You're watching the News Hour at 10, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining us on the debate, Karan Verma, author, Varun Singh, senior journalist, Sanjay Gupta, leader of Shiv Sena, Sundar Balakrishnan, political analyst. My first question is to you, Kuntal Krishna, political analyst. I want to actually read to you what Deepak Kesarkar, one of the rebel MLAs, has said. In fact, he has pretty much clearly indicated that if today there is one person who has perhaps single-handedly created this mess, it is Sanjay Raut. In his letter today, he says, those who got elected to the Rajya Sabha because of us are now abusing us every day. We are called dirty pigs. Much disturbing abuse is coming our way, so much so that our dead bodies are now awaited.
Padmaja, you know, these 30-40 people who call themselves Shiv Sena rebels, so these 50-60 lakhs of Shiv Sainiks, they have got the same question to ask them. I don't know what Mr. Rawat said, but it is a political loyalist who expressed his views. See, these people who have now become Shiv Sena rebels, these MLAs who have become Shiv Sena rebels, it is Shiv Sena who made them MLAs.
Really?
If they have any problem, like
as opposed to the self-made man that Sanjay Raut is.
If he is having any problem,
so Deepak Karsekar has been para-dropped, but Sanjay Raut has worked up his way upwards from the grassroots.
If he has been, did they ever speak to Uddhav ji? Did they ever speak to their Sena chief? If they have any problem, they should have spoke to their own party leadership. Did they do this? They didn't do this. So if this 50-60 lakh of Sena workers, the Shiv Sainiks who made them MLAs, they have got the same question to ask them.
What is the question?
It is very clear. It is very clear. There cannot be any Shiv Sena without Thackeray's. You have to, if you have got any problem, you should speak to your leader first.
Varun Singh, there cannot be any Shiv Sena without Thackeray's. Kesarkars can come and go. Shindes can come and go. Everyone else can come and go. So basically, Sanjay Raut is only expressing the anguish of millions and millions of Shiv Seniks.
There cannot be any,
Sanjay Raut is expressing the anguish that he is going through, seeing that slowly the empire, the political empire that he has built, or the alliance that he has built of MVA slipping throughout his hand. That is the frustration. And answering to the gentleman's Mishra's question, or probably, no one has ever said that there has to be a Sena without Thackeray. Even these 40 MLAs are still hoping that Uddhav Thackeray will break an alliance with the MVA. And read Kesarkar's letter. He has categorically said, all those people who have won Rajya Sabha, unke balboote pe jo jeet ke aaye hain, they are the one now trying to teach them how to do politics. A Shinde is not just a strong man. A Shinde is a pillar in Shiv Sena who has been handling not just one but at least 15 districts in Maharashtra. Today, Parbani MLA Patil, he has reached over there. Someone who till yesterday was with Uddhav Thackeray. Parbani is a very strong hold of Shiv Sena. He's seeing the writing on the wall. I don't know when will, I have been of the thought that Uddhav and Aditya both are sensibles. They would see the writing on the wall.
Kuntal Krishna, essentially what now rebels are saying is कि वो एक वो मुहावरा है ना कि आप जिस डाली पे बैठे हैं उसी को आप काट रहे हैं. There are some people within the Shiv Sena जो पूरे Shiv Sena की डाली को काट रहे हैं and nobody is being able to see the writing on the wall.
Padmaja, if it is so, why can't Mr. Shinde and his friends resign and go for a fresh election?
Why would they resign?
They think that they are.
Why should they resign?
When they have,
listen, Mr. Mishra.
Real sentiments.
Listen,
let them resign and go for a fresh election. These Shiv Sainik selected them.
आपको पता है एक इलेक्शन जीतना कितना कठिन है आज उनके पास अरे यार कुछ भी मजाक
सर आप मजाक की बात कर रहे हो सर आप मजाक की बात कर रहे हो सर
let's not bring it down to this level.
Shiv Sena, can there be a Shiv Sena without Thackeray?
Who said there is a Shiv Sena without Thackeray?
You tell me, if there is a Shiv Sena without Thackeray, let these people resign and contest on their own.
Sir, rebels are saying that there will be no Shiv Sena, there will be no Thackeray's if Mr. Raut continues the way that he is. आपके पास MLA नहीं रहेगी, पार्टी नहीं रहेगी, कॉर्पोरेटर नहीं रहेंगे, MP नहीं रहेंगे, कोई नहीं रहेगा.
The 40 MLAs with folded hands are saying, requesting Uddhav Thackeray to save Shiv Sena.
Let party decide it. Let party decide it. 40 MLAs. You are talking about 40 people and you are forgetting 40 lakhs of Shiv Sainiks.
Sir, at least they got 1 lakh vote. They are also 40 lakh. They are representing 40 lakh people. What are you talking? अरे सर उन्होंने भी कम से कम लाख सवा लाख वोट लिए हैं 40 लाख अच्छा so their 40 lakh is nothing अरे कैसी बातें करते हो
let them go to their people
they have gone to their people can't you see their people are celebrating Mr. Mishra
let them go to their people.
Mr. Krishna, the people that you're talking about are putting up the hoardings today. The more fundamental question though Sanjay Gupta is, and again I want to keep going back to what the rebels are saying. We must pay attention to what the rebels are saying because again you have Mr. Kesarkar saying that, and it's important because वो suggest कर रहे हैं कि this seems to be an agenda. Sanjay Raut began his agenda of vicious series criticizing the BJP-led union government. Sadly, widening the gap between our two parties was systematically orchestrated. Trying to say यहाँ घर में विभीषण कोई और ही है. ये वो विभीषण है जो कि सेना को खत्म कर रहे हैं. आपके नेम से क्या संजय गुप्ता?
नहीं, इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है कि जो मुद्दे एक नाथ शिंदे उनके गुट के विधायक उठा रहे हैं उस मुद्दे से हम सहमति रखते हैं, मगर उस तरीके से नहीं. क्योंकि इस तरह की बात आनी चाहिए थी कि उन्होंने उद्धव जी के सामने सबने मिलकर के इस बात को रखा और उनके सबके रखने के बाद उद्धव जी ने नहीं माना. अगर उन्होंने इस बात को उनके सामने रखा होता और रखने के बाद वो नहीं मानते तो अपना रिजाइन देते. रिजाइन देने के बाद अपना विरोध प्रकट करते.
आपने बहुत अच्छी बात कही. अब मैं आगे आपको चिट्ठी पढ़ के बताती हूँ. जब वो बता रहे हैं, जब शिवसेना बीजेपी के बीच में डिफरेंसेस होने शुरू हुए तो चिट्ठी कहती है दैट during this time all of us legislators would attempt to repeatedly bring this to our party's leadership's notice, but in vain. Leadership took no cognizance and the criticism, using very indecent words, continued every day. The kind of cheap and harsh language uttered regularly by our party's leader Sanjay Raut was not used even by the Congress, NCP and other opposition parties of the country. कि यहाँ पर पार्टी को तोड़ने की, पार्टी में दरार बनाने की, बीजेपी शिवसेना के बीच में खाई बड़ी करने की कोशिश होती रही और पार्टी की लीडरशिप ने कुछ नहीं किया. संजय गुप्ता.
इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं कि बीजेपी और शिवसेना के बीच में खाई पैदा करने वाले ऐसे कई लोग थे जिन्होंने मामा शकुनी और भीष्म पितामह के रोल को अदा किया है. इसमें कोई दो राय नहीं है. हमारी पार्टी के बहुत से लीडरान इस बात को समय समय पर कहते रहे.
अरे शकुनी और भीष्म पितामह को एक चीज में मत कहिए. भीष्म पितामह का बहुत अलग रोल था. आप थोड़ा सा अपना हिस्ट्री कंफ्यूज कर रहे हैं, पर चलिए कोई बात नहीं. आप शकुनी मामा कह रहे हैं. हाँ ठीक है.
लेकिन भीष्म पितामह देखिए पितामह
बट सर दिस शोज अप ऑन द लीडरशिप ना कि पार्टी की लीडरशिप कैसी है.
देखते रहे, कुछ बोले नहीं.
कि आपको समझ में ही नहीं आता कि कौन कृष्ण है और कौन शकुनी है. ये तो आपकी लीडरशिप को एवैल्यूएशन है ना, कि आपको समझ में आना चाहिए कि कौन आपके बीच में खाई क्रिएट कर रहा है, कौन मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग्स क्रिएट कर रहा है. एंड द ट्रेजेडी है संजय गुप्ता कि आज भी वही लोग हैं जो कि सबसे विजिबल फेस ऑफ द पार्टी हैं, जो कि एडवाइजरी रोल में है, करण वर्मा. Perhaps there could have been a patch up, but now it is at a point of no return.
Padmaja. Oh, absolutely. Padmaja, Sanjay Raut has been the absolute antithesis of what was required for Shiv Sena. You know, when Shiv Sena compromises on its core ideology and forms an alliance with NCP Congress, the last thing you would want is a motormouth, an inexperienced motormouth, who is running diktats to people who've risen up through the ranks. Eknath Shinde is a perfect example of someone who's worked his way up. He was a grassroots leader working in Thane, slogging years and years. And do you expect people like Eknath Shinde to take orders from someone like Sanjay Raut, who doesn't know much about the machinations of electoral politics, who has never been amongst the people to win their mandate? This did not augur well with the people who were already suffering from a blow of compromising on their ideology. Then the biggest thing was Uddhav Thackeray had surrounded himself with a coterie, and that has come out time and again. He was absolutely inaccessible. Of course, we know that he had some medical issues, which he's said time and again, but still he was inaccessible because Sanjay Raut and his coterie and his acolytes were all the time they were a layer between Uddhav Thackeray and his people. That's where this kept widening. And today, if you ask me, it is the best thing that can happen if Uddhav Thackeray can resign and go back, solidifying his party. He runs a real risk of losing his party, leave aside this government. So, for me, every day that Uddhav Thackeray clings on to power, he is reducing his political capital in the eyes of the Shiv Sainik.
Kuntal Krishna, the longer you continue with such advisors and with such bad advice, you are actually damaging yourself forever for the future, the Shiv Sena.
Padmaja, if Mr. Shinde and his friends had problem with some advisor, they should have raised this issue sitting in the Mumbai. They should have spoke to their leadership.
अरे सर वहाँ पे वो कह रहे हैं कि तुम्हारे बॉडीज पोस्टमार्टम के लिए भेज देंगे. आप कह रहे हैं हाँ जी मुंबई में आके बात करो. फिर बात करने लायक नहीं रहेंगे ना, फिर वो पोस्टमार्टम हो रहा होगा उनका.
पद्मजा नहीं
If somebody sits in Mumbai and says, Kuntal Krishna, come to my studio and debate with me in the studio where your postmortem will be conducted, will you come to the studio and debate? Come on, sir, be reasonable.
बीजेपी का ऑर्केस्ट्रा, नो पद्मजा, ये बीजेपी का ऑर्केस्ट्रेड एक षड्यंत्र है और जिसमें एकनाथ शिंदे और उनके दोस्त सिर्फ और सिर्फ मोहरे हैं। और ये प्लीज, दे शुड नॉट बी हाइडिंग बिहाइंड दीज वर्ड्स। Mr. Shinde himself said that don't worry, we have got a Mahashakti behind us.
Then in that case, sir, Sanjay Raut has to be the biggest weapon in the arsenal of the BJP, because if anything, Varun Singh, Sanjay Raut is single-handedly going to ensure कि अगर कोई 2 MLA वापस भी आना चाहें, वो डर के मारे नहीं आएंगे, क्योंकि संजय राउत उनको कह देंगे कि भाई आप तो सीधे मोर्चरी में जाएंगे। वरुण
सिंह, let me tell you a very small thing. It would have been such a simple solution. Instead of on day one attacking the rebel MLAs, there has been no opportunity, no effort to pacify them. You look at how Shiv Sena and especially Sanjay Raut has behaved. It is clear, even and on your show I told you a few days ago, Uddhav Thackeray had made his mind to resign, and on the day he came for Facebook Live on Wednesday, he delayed it for half an hour only and only because he was pressurized by none other than Mr. Sharad Pawar and Sanjay Raut, the architect of MVA, to not resign and cling to power. Someone, as Karan rightly pointed out, the more Uddhav Thackeray clings to power, the more he will lose his base in Shiv Sena. And I don't know, Mr. Mishra, why he doesn't want to see that so many times. Even Uddhav Thackeray in one of his live admitted that 1 year ago, Eknath Shinde came and told him, the rebel, but that time Shiv Sena MLAs were unhappy the way things were going on. Had he even course corrected, then things would have been different.
And no course correction even now, Sundar Balakrishnan. No course correction.
See, Padmaja, I just want to tell you, you're talking of who's the real Sena, who's the real Bala Saheb, and all those things, okay? Now, I just want to bring to you 2 recent incidents.
No, there's only one Bala Saheb. Nobody else is claiming to be Bala Saheb, but go on.
No, both are. See, we are talking of who's the real Sena, right? Are we not discussing that? Okay. Now, when you talk of real Sena, you just take 2 instances. One, I will tell you of Chhagan Bhujbal, who went away with 18 MLAs. And 12 went against him when they came back here on the floor of the House. Okay, that is one instance. 67% of the MLAs, they voted against him. And MNS, Raj Thackeray, who also claimed to be a real Sena, who's lookalike of Bala Saheb Thackeray, who thought he will become the real Sena. What is the situation of Raj Thackeray today? You know, I know, right? Now, of this 39 MLAs who are talking that they are the real Sena, who are the rebel, okay? What is stopping them? That they come here, form their own party, or go to the governor.
By the way, do you know that since we are talking about Chhagan Bhujbal, today Subhash Sabne, who is also from the Shiv Sena and in the rebel camp, what he said, Mr. Balakrishnan, he actually asked Uddhav Thackeray that how can you sit in the cabinet with the same Chhagan Bhujbal who arrested Bala Saheb Thackeray at one point. And now you're sitting with him in a ministry and you're talking about being Bala Saheb's Sainiks, Bala Saheb's messengers. Chhagan Bhujbal had Bala Saheb arrested. And you're sitting with him in a cabinet meeting, feeling no pain. Then chadhaving phool to Bala Saheb on Dashera.
Padmaja, same question I can ask you. Till yesterday, they were talking of Hardik Patel. What all they were talking? Today,
sir,
he is very clean in BJP.
My point is,
very clean.
My point is, sir, that today you are talking about the very core of the Shiv Sena being destroyed. What the question we are asking is, are a few people who misled the Thackeray family leading to the complete destruction? First you did suicidal alliances and now you have suicidal advice. Even at the point of crisis, you are being guided by suicidal advice. Somebody is angry with you, what do you say? We will beat the hell out of you if you come back. This is like somebody walking out of your house saying, I'm a little upset with you because you're not listening to me. You said, Acha, you are upset. Come back. I will beat the hell out of you once you come back. And you expect there to be a patch up.
I want to ask you one thing. Padmaja, I want to ask you one thing. These rebel MLAs who have gone there with so much of guts, you think they are afraid of this Dhamkis? You think they are afraid?
You would be afraid, sir. If your house was being broken into and your offices were being bashed up, even you would be afraid.
There is a big
Today, there is an MLA whose house, and by the way, are you suggesting that the Shiv Senics are innocent of vandalism and violence, Mr. Balakrishnan?
What innocent means what? They are, in fact,
you agree that Shiv Senics are indulging in violence, right?
Why they have come on?
You agree that Shiv Senics are indulging in violence, right?
Yes, I know. Yes, they are doing it. They are doing it. Why not?
And you condone it. And you condone it.
I am saying that their Shiv Senics, they are very attached to Shiv Sena. They will obviously come on the street. You think something will happen?
Sir, I am very attached to my belongings at my house, but that doesn't mean if somebody tries to rob me, I'll stab them. And then you will say, but you know, the robber came in, so she stabbed them because she's very attached.
To BJP, Padmaja, I'm asking you something happens to BJP. BJP Kargas did not come on the street. You tell me, you answer me.
Varun Singh.
So I don't know. I thought with age we get more, but here I see someone so senior condoning violence. How can anybody on earth with sane mind can say कि अरे ठीक है ना वो गुस्सा है तो इसके लिए सड़क पे आके लोगों के ऑफिस तोड़ रहे हैं, एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस तोड़ रहे हैं. भाई sir, you only mentioned about Chhagan Bhujbal. Poor Chhagan Bhujbal, he had to hide in the washroom to save his life.
No, and leave aside the morality, Sundar Balakrishnan. Leave aside the morality. Fine, they are attached. That's the way they are. How is this a good strategy is what I want to ask you. Politics, let's leave the morality out of politics. How is this a good strategy? That somebody is upset with you, you try and get them back by attacking them. What kind of political advice is this?
1 minute, Padmaja. Strategy is now with two people, BJP or the Rebel Sena. Let them come here. Why are they stopping now? Why are they enjoying big parties in Guwahati?
Acha Sundarji, just one small thing. Let me over here give you all a scoop.
What is stopping them?
My sources in BJP, my sources have clearly told me that Shinde camp in a day or two are gonna come and they will be submitting their letter to governor stating that MVA has lost majority. They are doing it. They are coming. Now are you happy? Now will you justify the violence? You will still justify the violence.
I'll tell you 1 minute. Okay, they will come here, right? I will tell you there are two options here. Two options. When they come here, either they will have to go against the Uddhav Sena. They have to vote against Uddhav. In that case, there will be a whip from Uddhav Sena. Shiv Sena, there will be whip, right? In that case, what they will do?
I don't need to teach such a senior person how a legislature party will work. His disqualification has been stopped, so he is still right now the leader of Shiv Sena. That's fine. So he's coming in 2 days. July 11 is still 2 weeks. Don't force such a junior person like me to tell you, sir, how a legislature works. He is the leader of the Shiv Sena's elected MLAs.
Listen to me, Varun.
He will be the
before July 11.
All those going against him might lose, might be disqualified.
Okay, you know, I think you missed the nuance, Mr. Balakrishnan. Today, when Eknath Shinde said this is the victory of the real Sena, because essentially what he is saying is that out of 55, I have 39 people, and by virtue of not being disqualified today by the Supreme Court, he has a majority of the Shiv Senics with him. But that argument we will leave for the time that we come to the bridge of a no trust motion being passed or a vote of no confidence being asked for. The point right now is that is the Shiv Sena, Sanjay Gupta, at a point of no return, और जो एक नाराजगी की बात थी अब वो ब्रेकअप पे पहुंच चुकी है और उसका जिम्मेदार कौन है. और अगर आपको लगता है कि ये सिर्फ अटैचमेंट की बात है, I actually want to play out for you what Subhash Desai says, because Mr. Raut gives a dog whistle, and then there are 30 more intelligent people who want to amplify the message that Sanjay Raut has given. If there is any rebel sitting there thinking, maybe I should go back to the Thakres, this is the message that Subhash Desai gives them.
जैसे कोई ना कोई दिन वो यहाँ मुंबई में आएंगे तो उनके जो साथ में है उसमें से आधे से ज्यादा जल्दी शिवसेना भवन में आकर के दाखिल हो जाएंगे और बाकी जो है उनको एयरपोर्ट से बाहर निकलने नहीं दिया जाएगा। शिवसेना इतना विशाल संगठन है कि पूरे एयरपोर्ट का घेराव 24 घंटे, 48 घंटे, 72 घंटे, आप बोलो उतने घंटों तक घेराव करके बैठने की क्षमता सिर्फ शिवसेना की।
बताइए संजय गुप्ता जी।
देखिए, शिवसेना के टिकट पर जो विधायक लड़े हैं चुनाव, और शिवसेना के टिकट पर ही वो मंत्री भी बने, उनको इतना सम्मान मिला, तो उन्हें इस तरह से बागी बनने से पहले अपना रिजाइन तो देना चाहिए था। क्या पार्टी का या शिव सैनिकों का गुस्सा गलत थोड़ी ना है, ये गुस्सा जायज है उनके प्रति।
क्यों?
उन्हें पहले रिजाइन देना चाहिए था।
जब शिवसेना ने बीजेपी के साथ अलायंस करके चुनाव लड़ा और फिर एनसीपी के साथ अलायंस किया, क्या उन्होंने अपना रिजाइन दिया एनसीपी से गठबंधन करने से पहले? आपके लॉजिक से तो उनको भी रिजाइन देना चाहिए था और फिर एनसीपी के साथ जाते। आपने तो युति के साथ इलेक्शन लड़ा ना, मैंडेट तो युति के लिए था, फिर आपने रिजाइन क्यों नहीं दिया अपना?
2.5 साल का वायदा
अगाड़ी बनाने से पहले
नहीं, तो पहले तो 2 दिन के लिए सरकार देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी ने बनाई थी ना। ये
चलिए, आपके लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है संजय गुप्ता जी, आपके लिए बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा है इसको कुछ भी डिफेंड करने के लिए। बट द मोर सब्सटैंटिव पार्ट दैट आई वांट टू कम इज दैट now there are some serious allegations, Kuntal Krishna, that are being raised, and I want to keep going back because here are people who claim that they genuinely wish well for the Shiv Sena, for the party itself. The allegation today being made by the rebel camp is that Sanjay Raut, who hasn't been elected by the people, is set off to finish our party. Sanjay Raut is NCP's blue out boy. You may succeed in distancing the Shiv Sena from the BJP, but if you're trying to distance the Shiv Sena from Hindutva, how do you expect us to tolerate it? Even for unfortunate part is that if the party is being run on this Sanjay Raut's advice, that too at the cost of isolating people like us who got elected by people multiple times, what option do we have? Sanjay Raut has committed the heinous crime of distancing Uddhav ji from us. So the leader is living in a bubble and listening to people who have no idea what's going on. And that's how the decline has turned into a complete, disbanding of the party almost. Kuntal Krishna.
Padmaja, this is all excuse note given to these rebel MLAs by BJP, because Uddhav Thackeray himself, in his address to the party and people, he himself said that if they have got anyone has got any problem, please do come to me. Where is someone else coming in between? Where is someone else coming in between? That day when he made an appeal, these rebels who has got such great things to say now, they should have come up. They didn't come up. Now this is all excuse, so please don't give these lame excuses.
Padmaja, whenever there has been a serious divorce of the Shiv Sena from its original plank of Hindutva, it's been Sanjay Raut who has been at the forefront expressing his views and articulating them. He came to the forefront when the lynching of the sadhus in Palghar happened and said there was no communal angle, you are vitiating the environment, none whatsoever. Then in the CAA, when there was a walkout in the Rajya Sabha, it was again Sanjay Raut who said we are not here to give citizenship to Hindus from outside.
Yes,
so the fact is that Sanjay Raut is a symbol for people, for Shiv Sainiks. Hindutva has been their core ideology.
Padmaja, my friend is right. My friend is right. BJP thinks that Sanjay Raut is the main culprit. So there is today ED summoned him. It is right. Since BJP thinks that Sanjay Raut is the main culprit, so ED summoned him. It is very simple.
Don't bring ED into everything. Talk about your compromise from your core ideology and how Sanjay Raut has aided that.
Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not? क्या बात है साहब? क्या संयोग है? क्या बात है? एक तरफ आप कह रहे हैं कि संजय राउत सब चीज के लिए जिम्मेदार है और ईडी के भी समन उसी दिन आते हैं. What are you saying, sir? क्या?
Okay, Varun Singh wants to come.
Sorry, it is not a प्रयोग. It has to be a संयोग.
कुछ लोग होते हैं वो एक लाइन था वो आपका साबुन स्लो है क्या? वो I'm like, how many times do we say that the rebels today had been crying out loud, even Uddhav Thackeray admitted that 1 year ago they came and told me that they are unhappy because of them. Even the poor chap, the spokesperson or the leader from Shiv Sena, he is unable to, defend. But wow, I'm like, Kuntalji, hats off to you for like not even trying to understand that, yes, there is a problem. Uddhav Thackeray is a very sensible leader. He wanted to resign, but he is
Sir,
right now.
Sir, you are talking about 365 days back event. Sir, you are talking about a year, an event which was a year back. And Uddhav ji made an appeal 3-4 days back. What about that appeal?
Kuntal ji, मैं फोन करता हूँ ना, MLAs available है.
He made an appeal कि if anyone has got any problem, it should come to me.
MLA ना कुंतल जी वो MLAs है ना बेचारे फोन उठा रहे हैं. मैंने कल ही उनसे बात की 2-3 लोगों से. जब मेरे जैसे का फोन उठा सकते हैं तो वो श्योरली उद्धव जी को और आदित्य जी का उठा के बात कर लेंगे.
एक बात बताओ,
कुंतल जी, फेसबुक लाइव में बोलना एक बात है कि आप फेसबुक लाइव में बोल दो कि आओ मुझसे बातें करो, और फिर मेरे मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट कहते हैं कि आओगे मुंबई में तो कुटाई होगी, तो आप भी बेवकूफ तो हो नहीं कि कहेंगे जी बिल्कुल. बट फेसबुक लाइव में बोला था, जब पिटाई हो रही होगी तो वहां पे तो कोई नहीं बोलता ना कि बट फेसबुक लाइव में तो आपने बोला था मुझे आके मिलो, आप मेरी पिटाई क्यों कर रहे हो. सर, कोई आपका घर तोड़े जा रहा है तो आप वहां पे फेसबुक लाइव पे सुन करके तो नहीं आओगे ना.
बीजेपी की स्क्रिप्ट में उद्धव जी से बात करना नहीं लिखा है.
बीजेपी की स्क्रिप्ट में घर तोड़ना लिखा है क्या? Okay, we are just getting in news. We're just getting in news. Our colleagues are telling us, that's what sources within the rebel camp are telling them, that it will be the BJP and the Shiv Sena Shinde camp who are going to make the government together. There will be no merging of the party, but the Shiv Sena Shinde is going to stake claim to the symbol and say we are the real Shiv Sena. A senior advocate is being consulted even as we speak. That's the big story breaking right now, and it's confirming, in fact, Varun Singh said just a while ago, is that they are going to ask for a floor test. The big breaking on Newshour Agenda. The Shinde camp has consulted a senior advocate, and they are going to ask for a floor test very soon. In the next 48 hours, we could see a big development, and this has happened just after the BJP core committee meeting. So there is going to be no merging of any party in any other party. There is going to be two parties which are going to form the government together. That's the big story that we are breaking. For the time being, though, we wish well to the Shiv Sena. It's a party that has grown over years because of its karyakartas, and it shouldn't be frittered away, the legacy, because of a few. Thanks very much, all gentlemen, for joining me.